Well, g'day fishers, welcome back to another Tackle World Port Stephens fishing report. Oh, it's cold. It's where I've come from, it's definitely cold now, but it's definitely chilly. Winter is definitely in the full swing of things. However, in saying that, if you can brave the cold, the weather this weekend looks sensational, especially Saturday. Light winds, light westerlies, so if you're keen to get out there, I would say make the most of it. Have the day off. Don't worry about mowing the lawn while the lawn's not growing. Don't worry about vacuuming the floors or mopping the floors or anything like that. Just go fishing. That's what I reckon anyway. So let's get into it. So the bay, fishing pretty well on the brim. Plenty of really good brim around. It's been a really good brim season so far. I know the Coles boys have been getting into them, throwing plastics up against those rock walls and oyster racks. Sent me some really good photos of some cracking brim. So some really nice brim around at the moment. They're starting to make their way down the estuary system, places like the Anchorage Breakwall, the Nelson Bay Breakwall. If you want to have a crack land-based, they're going to be the spots to have a crack at the moment. Although the water is very clear. If you can fish after dark on that incoming tide, I reckon you'll do better. Depends if you can stand the cold or not. If you've got the boat there, well, like I said, the rock walls up around Soldiers Point, the oyster racks, the shortcut over towards Teagardens, they're all fishing really well for brim at the moment. If we do get any swell at all, the boulders underneath the Yakabar headland are always worth a shot too. So brim are on the chew. Now the other thing that's been happening in the bay, that pelagic action. There was a longtail caught last weekend. There's been a few bonito in the bay, but there's been some cracking tail and also salmon in the bay. So if you're keen on your pelagic action, the bay is the place to be at the moment. Everything's feeding on small white bait, so you've got to fish small with your lures. Small metals are definitely go 5 to 10 grams. So, but the beauty of it is for those bonito, tailor and salmon is you only need a 2 to 4 kilo rod to have some fun. So some of those tailor are up around the kilo, which is fantastic to see in the bay at the moment. I know our local legend, young KO, has been fishing the breakwall, sending me photos left, right and centre. And he's been nailing salmon off the breakwall, so good fun there. Land-based, that's for sure. So if you're keen on doing that, throwing a few metals off the breakwall, there's been some salmon down there. I did hear of a couple of big kings cruising down there, but as usual, they won't take anything. But put a live salmon out there like the Kiwis do, you might entertain that big king. Don't know if you're going to stop him, but give it a crack anyway. Talking of the breakwall, blackfish, luderick, still down there, still chewing away. So if you're keen on doing that, a little tip, the Anchorage Breakwall doesn't see as much pressure, but the fishing is just as good. And also on the incoming tide, the Western Wharf at Little Beach fishes pretty well for luderick as well, so definitely worth a shot there. So too Shoal Bay Wharf, you'll see luderick will gather under there, although they can be a little bit more finicky down that way as well. A few squid getting off Shoal Bay Wharf there and around the moorings, so definitely worth a shot for the old squiddly dillies at the moment. That water's pretty clear. Rocks and beaches, still a couple of longtails off Tomaree. I've said it before, I've caught them all the way through to August, so still plenty of time to entertain a longtail off the rocks, although they'll get thinner. I don't think you'll get as many bites per day, but what you'll find is the fish will be a little bit on the larger side, those 20 kilo plus fish. So definitely worth a shot for a longie off the rocks, but your bread and butter species, your brim, your drummer, your salmon and your tailor, all off the rocks at the moment, and some good fun as well. In particular, those points are going to do really well for salmon and tailor. So the point there at Fingal fishes really well. So Barry Park, anywhere along there, first light, last light, salmon and tailor. 1 Mile Point fishes really well for salmon and tailor as well. And down off Boat Harbour on that southern point, if there's no swell, is a really good tailor spot at the moment. So too Cemetery Point down off Anna Bay. So definitely worth a shot there. If you're after your drummer, just find a ledge with a bit of swell and away you go. Use a little bit of bread burley and you should find some drummer and some really good brim. If you didn't see it, we've got a new YouTube clip up where I did a bit of wash fishing out of the boat. So I've got some really nice drummer and brim there. So hopefully we'll continue to bring you those YouTube videos every couple of weeks, hopefully. It's just a matter of me getting out fishing, which is sometimes hard to do. But anyway, worth a shot there. So beaches and rocks, the beaches, plenty of brim on the beaches. The brim have been fantastic off the beaches. Fingal Spit particularly. There's been some big tailor up there. Saw some footage of some cracking tailor. So if you're keen on having a spin up there, garies or pillies into the washes will do the trick there. Samurai fishing particularly well for brim. There's been the odd mulloway down there too. So definitely worth a shot on the beaches this weekend. Not much swell, but fish after dark, you should do pretty well. On the offshore scene, last weekend, there was plenty of boats out there, but there were some cracking fish caught. Some really good snapper around. For those in the know, you had to fish those first light or after dark conditions to get those snapper to bite, only because that water was really, really clear. Although some guys fished plastics in that sort of 40-metre structure and did really well on the plastics there. But some absolute horses. I know of one that went 9.6 kilos, some absolute cracking reds. And it is the time of year that Port Stephens shines. June, July, August for big snapper if you're keen on doing that at the moment. So definitely worth a shot on big snapper. Some kings around too, some really good kings around Broughton. Seal Rock's unfortunately been a little bit quiet on the kings, notably because I got told of the story of some kingfish getting netted off the beach up that way. Some big ones unfortunately, but there you go, nothing you can do about that. But some big kings around Broughton there in the shallows as well, so if you're keen on doing that, chasing those on the stick baits or the live baits, it is the time of year where those big winter kings do get right up in the shallows, that's for sure. Spoke to Rusty Highland. He went out in that deeper water, fished some 80-metre stuff down off Uralla and caught some really nice mulloway, so out in the tinny there, so still that option of getting those mulloway out in that deeper water too at this time of year. The other news, plenty of good barcod on the shelf. I reckon every Tom, Dick and Harry at the moment's going out barcod fishing. I don't blame them because it's good fun with our calm conditions, no current on the shelf, and they're bloody good eating. So if you're keen on doing that, we've got the barcod special in as well as the jig. So if you're keen on tackling a few barcod on the jigs, we do have a certain jig that's just been going off at the moment. Come in store and check it out. It's been an absolute beauty, 2 to 250 grams. Been catching the barcod and a few kings as well. So keen on doing that, get out the shelf with the electrics. Now, the other news, my good mate Sweetman and Josh went out, I think it might have been Monday or Tuesday this week. They did find some yellowfins. So if you have a look at rib charts, we've got it in store. The altimetry line, the zero line, which is your break there, is basically right on the edge of the shelf and about 300 fathoms. So anywhere from Allmark to the car park there, that line continues down. They're in about 300 fathoms and ended up with 4 yellowfin between 30 and 50 kilos. So yes, the yellowfin have turned up as well. We've just got a load of stick baits if you want a stick bait for them. We've got bullets in, so skirted bullets, which have been doing really well too. So definitely worth a look at the yellowfin, especially Saturday with that weather looking mint. So good report this week for winter fishing, that's for sure. So my suggestion is get out there, get amongst it and have a fish, and we'll talk next week.